The last thing I did this week was I sold. All right, welcome to Talking Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. It is the weekend, so it is time to update our 10K challenge. So I will be going through the portfolio today, and we'll be talking all about it. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification button. And of course, if you enjoy this video, please smash the like button. You're welcome to join us along the way on our 10K journey. And we discussed this at greater length in our Discord. So there is a link in the pinned comment to our free Discord. So we'd love to have you join us there. We're working towards 500 people in the Discord. So before I get to the portfolio, I'm going to talk about the fact that this is the third week in a row that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the market has built some momentum. My 10K portfolio has done very well. And this is the third Thursday and Friday in a row that have been a bit of a train wreck. I tried to prepare for that a little bit more, so I made a few more trades than usual this week after having been through this 2 weeks in a row, because I felt like there was going to likely be some bargains on Thursday and Friday. So I did add a new stock, and I did do a little bit of repositioning, so I'm going to go through all of that with you. As we said from week one, it's not our expectation that we are going to get there within 1 year, but what we do expect is we have picked the 4 major indexes, the 2 major precious metals, and the 2 major cryptocurrencies, and we are measuring our portfolio against the progress of those 8 things over the course of the year. So the goal is to finish in first place. Anything less than first place, and I will say that we did not win our 10K challenge. And then obviously by the end of the year, we want to make money. So regardless of what the market's doing, there's money to be made somewhere. So over a 52-week period, we expect to have a positive return. So with that said, let's look at the portfolio. This is the portfolio in order from largest position to smallest. You will see that I do hold some options. You will see that the vast majority of my options are at the very bottom of the list. They are my smallest positions. And remember, we're not adding any money to this account all year this year. We put in $10,000 and that's it. So I have $10,000 to work with. So some of these options, again, these are going to be swing trades. They're not day trades. This is not short-term trading, but they will be some options swing trades. And what we're hoping to do with that, obviously, is make some money, take some profits, and reinvest so that we can grow the portfolio. So I added stock ticker VLTA Volta. They are an EV charging station company, and there's several very high-profile EV charging companies. I feel like Volta gets overlooked. It hit its 52-week low on Friday, and I opened a position in Volta. I may add to this position over time if it goes lower, because I believe it's oversold, and I think ChargePoint is already starting to surge. They reported earnings and they were outstanding. So at the same time as they're going up, Volta was pulling back. And we heard in the President's State of the Union address, he specifically called out electric vehicle charging stations as infrastructure that they want to put money in. So I felt very comfortable adding this position. I think I've been watching the EV charging stations for some time now, and I have not found a good entry point. And I was looking to get into ChargePoint, but I think it's run up a little bit ahead of the others. So I felt like Volta was the better option at its 52-week low. Remember, that doesn't mean it's not going to go lower. I don't know when the bottom is, and that is one of my fundamental investing principles. So when I say I did an opening position, I did not buy this and make it as large as all my other positions. I did an opening position of about half the size of my typical position, and I'm assuming that I have not picked the exact bottom, and if I get another opportunity, I will dollar cost average in if this goes down. Paramount, on the other hand, I have actually now sold most of my position in Paramount. So when I bought this, it was Viacom. They reported earnings and changed their name. The option remained the same. The ticker changed. So my thesis was after the earnings report, and I did a video on this, Viacom, now Paramount, went down to about $29. Well, if you look over the last year and a half, every single month except for one, at some point over the course of the month, Paramount has hit $35. I thought Paramount had a very good earnings. I think they sold off just because everything is selling off. So I felt comfortable they would return back to $35 at some point sooner than later. Well, they have done that already. So as a result, I was able to sell half of this position at a double, and then I was able to sell some more of this position at a triple. So you see, on March 2nd, I sold one option of Paramount for what ended up being $332. So I bought these for $1.04. Well, that's more than a triple. So I sold some when it doubled. I sold some when it tripled. My thesis was that Paramount was going to 35. It has done that. So this is one of the key things that I want to point out. I don't like to be greedy because I could sit here and look at that and go, it could 5x or 10x. And I did save one option. But at this point, I've already made a big profit on this play. So I will let one option ride. And at some point, if it's a quadruple, I'll probably take it out then. But this has done what I wanted it to do. I wanted Paramount to go back to $35. It did that. I took my profits. So a part of this is sticking to your plan. So even though this was a little shorter term than I expected, it raced right back to where I wanted it to go. And I'm not going to be greedy. So I took my profits, I reinvested them, and that's how I was able to buy Volta. So I still have the same amount of cash as of this Friday as I did last week, but I was able to increase several of my positions. So I consider myself in a much better shape. So this is Friday. You can see everything in my portfolio was down dramatically. Probably, a lot of yours look similar to this. Friday was not a good day. So down 7%, 8%, 5%, 8%, 6.5%. Immersion was fairly even. These Bitfarms options were down 24%, which is why I averaged into them. So in a short window of time you'll see February 24th, where it gapped down on the open, and March 2nd, XL Fleet was up 45% as a stock. So I felt that was really getting into overbought territory in my opinion. Since I bought this near its lows, I had a nice profit on this, so I sold my position in this, and with just a small portion of the profits, I was able to buy XL options that were actually a larger position than my stock position is. So I locked in some of my profits. I did put some of them at risk with some options, and I view this as a long-term play. There was no catalyst for this to go up 45%. So real quick, here's where we were last Friday. We had the portfolio was worth $8,059, and we had $1,417.50 in cash available to spend. So we're trying very hard not to get this down to zero. I don't want to go much lower than $1,400. I always want to have some amount of cash on the sidelines if opportunities present themselves. So like I said, I was able to increase my positions in a lot of things this week, but maintain my cash. So you'll see where we are. This was last Friday, and now this is this Friday. So we now have $1,742 in cash. So we actually have more cash than we had last Friday. Our portfolio is up to $8,348.97. We were very near $10,000 in the middle of the week, but as long-term traders, we cannot lament those up and down swings. So the point of this is to be a long-term investor. I did make a few trades this week. There have been several weeks where I made no trades. Given world events and the downward pressure on the market, I did make some trades this week and they worked out for me. But the portfolio in general is still behind. So let's go take a look at where we sit versus everything else. Okay, so if we look at the rankings, they remained almost the same from last week to this week. The only flip-flop is Bitcoin went up a tiny little bit and it passed the NASDAQ, which was down almost 3% this week. Other than that, everything remained the same. So you'll see the portfolio, although it got better, it did go up $300 this week. It's still down 16.5% from the beginning of the year. That leaves us in 8th place. And if you remember, we said our goal is 1st place. Anything less, we consider that we have failed the challenge. Now, not in week 9, that's going to be in week 52. But you can see this is a different kind of year. We have silver and gold dominating this list right now. They're the only things in the green. They're up 8% and 10% since the beginning of the year. Everything else is down fairly substantially. Now, that's just since January 1st. So some of these have actually moved into bear market territory from their highs in November. So it's been a very tough market, and then you can see Ethereum is lagging behind at the moment, but cryptocurrencies are extremely volatile, so I will not be surprised to see that jump at some point. And Bitcoin, is down about 15%, but again, the volatility is very high on that, so I will not be surprised to see that jump up and down the list as we go on. The indexes, however, are off to an incredibly bad start to this year. Obviously, we'd like the portfolio to be in first place already, but it's only week 9, so we need to be patient. So this is a crucial part of the reason I'm doing this challenge. We're still sitting here in 8th place, but I've been adding to the portfolio in a strategic way where I expect to end up in first place rather comfortably. So that's the biggest lesson I'm trying to display to everybody, and I think the only way to really display it is to actually show you every single week and do this over the course of a year. Investing is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It takes time and patience, and a lot of times you need to buy when your gut is telling you to sell out of fear. So lesson number 1, do not buy high and sell low. I saw a lot of YouTubers over the weekend talking about stocks they sold and got out of and they were at their 52-week lows. So, there's a lot of different ways to trade. That's not what I do. Not unless the story has changed on the stock. So I have a pretty high level of conviction in all my positions. So I'm feeling good. I appreciate you guys following along. I hope you're doing well on your journeys, and stay patient. And thanks so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.